All right, we can turn that off. And please work, please work, please work, please work. There you are. All right. Excellent, excellent. Let's put you there. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sketchalog, the show where I, Soul King Xander, interview the heroes, villains, creatures, and other various beings I meet out in the wilds. And today we have a very special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself? Give us your name, what kind of content you make, and when you started streaming?
Sure. Hi, I'm Solvae. Fairy Dragon VTuber Mayhem Causing They Them, and primarily streaming right now Final Fantasy 14, occasionally other things, but 14 has kind of been my main focus, and I started VTubing in 2021, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very impressive tenure
I'm
so
old,
far.
I'm ancient.
How would you say your familiarity is with the VTuber community? Are you kind of a VTuber out of circumstance for wanting to keep anonymity, or is this was this a decision made out of passion for the craft?
The original choice was made out of spite.
The best kind of decision is being made.
I am 100% fueled by spite, I'm not gonna lie. As far as becoming a VTuber, I did face cam streaming for a few not even a few months, maybe 3 months or so. But I am someone who has always been very self-conscious of my physical appearance. And so I stopped streaming for a little while, and then I kind of discovered VTubing, and I was like, oh, I can just be a cool-looking anime person and not have to show my actual gross human flesh face. I love that. That's an amazing idea.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I started off as this little ghost girl that I made in V-Roid, and then kind of branched out from there.
Dragon's Face says that you spite them all the time.
I do not. So Dragon's Fae is my ex-wife. Not actually, it's a bit, but
right.
Don't tell her that. So hi, honey.
Thank you for the follow, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah. So you'd say kind of starting off as an anonymity thing, and then you are you do you have a sort of are you more of a VTuber fan now, as you've sort of been in the scene for 4 years? Oh my god, 4 years. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't actually watch a lot of VTubers. I have very few time for watching streams. I mean, I have VTubers that I enjoy a lot of things that they do, like outside of their content, or even some the things that they do. I mean, for example, I wouldn't call myself an Iron Mouse fan, but I have a lot of respect for Iron Mouse, for example.
Yeah, okay.
I don't actually really watch a lot of VTuber streams.
Anything more I guess scripted content or edited content?
I kind of go through phases. I just recently was kind of in a Subnautica phase, so I was just watching different YouTubers playing Subnautica, and I'm the kind of person where if I'm watching something, I'm not usually just watching something. I have it on in the background while I am doing something else.
Okay. Yeah, definitely the same for me. So how did you come up with this design that you have here now?
So I didn't come up with it. It is a group effort between 3 different people. The first person being the person who created the original version of the design many, many years ago, Lunar Eden. then this iteration of it, the concept was made by my friend Boobo Plague, and then the person who did my ref sheet, Bryken-chan, he kind of designed like the details, like the earrings and like some other like little things that Boobo had kind of like left a little bit vague. Bryken designed those things.
So yeah, shout outs to all of them. And then kind of what was like the like where did you sort of arrive on this this more like this dragon-esque like look for you?
Well, the character started off as a pixie originally. Then, okay, I gotta think about like the history of Solvae, because there's been so many Solvaes. So started off as a pixie. Then I know I designed like a feminine looking fairy dragon at one point that I think was like I don't know if that was meant to be a one-off. I don't remember what female fairy dragon Solvae was supposed to be. If it was supposed to be like a new look or a one-off or but either way it just kind of didn't stick. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, there's not really like a big like story behind it of like I've always loved dragons and empathized like the I wish I had something more like interesting or heartfelt to say as to how I arrived at this. It's kind of more just like, hey, yo, dragons are cool.
That is true. But yeah, I always find it very interesting to like hear about how people come up with their designs, because like I don't think I've ever gotten the same like story for how people like got to where they are now with their current look. So it's always very intriguing, to hear all the different stories about that. Since we're kind of talking about your design, would you maybe want to give us like an elevator pitch of like your lore, kind of like a little like 1 to 2 minute sort of breakdown of that?
So let me see if I can, how I would condense a 1 to 2 minute lore breakdown. Trying to think, like I'm trying, because I know I have like a lore document. I'm just like, okay, what parts are important, what parts are not?
I guess think of this kind of like when you're like if you're doing an audition for like a group or an agency or something like that, and they want you to explain your sort of deal.
Yeah. I mean trying to think, 'cause I definitely don't place any importance on the lore, to be honest with you. Like I have a backstory, but it's just kind of there as like a fun thing, really, more so than something that I incorporate in VTubing, like on a like as a regular thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you kind of like came up with your lore just as like this is like kind of a thing that other VTubers have in a way, or
sort of. I mean, just like a kind of a backstory for the character, but like the lore is not incorporated into my streams like at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
basically is non-existent.
Yeah, I guess not to diminish like the like all the effort you put into stuff, but yeah. But I guess you've kind of done an excellent job of answering some of my other lore-based questions, but kind of to sort of go through them. Like, do you kind of prefer VTuber lore to be more simple or detailed?
I mean, to be honest, like, I don't have a preference. I say whatever makes somebody happy. If having really super, like, complex, detailed lore and that you want to carry with you throughout your streams is what makes you happy, then, like, go for it. And if you're like, hey, I am Bob and I play video games and that's my lore, then then you go for that too. I can't say I really have a preference, So it's whatever makes people's hearts go. Doki doki.
Yeah, awesome. And then, how do you feel about the the concept or like the practice of VTubers kind of playing into their character in a way? Like I guess like when they are streaming or they're making content or whatever, they're like always on. They're always in character for whatever they're doing.
Like how I feel about people that do that?
Yeah, like what sort of your impression on it and like the practice of it.
I think again, it's very much like if that's what they want to do, then like power to them. I don't feel strongly one way or the other. I think it's cool. I admire the dedication. I think I know one person, a VTuber, who I don't think he's broken character once in the like 3 years that I've known him. No, he did break character one time, and I'm talking about like on and off stream.
Right.
I've only ever seen this man break character once. It's crazy. But I mean, otherwise, yeah. I mean, I admire the dedication, but I guess I don't have strong feelings one way or the other about if people want to do that or if they want to do like an OOC experience or do kind of something a little bit more mixed.
Yeah, interesting. I guess since you don't have like the full doc and everything like that, we can sort of nix the rest of these questions. But going back to like VTuber designs and whatnot, what's something that you love seeing in like VTuber designs? Kind of like when you're sort of scrolling through your feed and everything, what kind of makes you stop and take notice of something?
I'm trying to think. So there, I don't know. I guess I like seeing things that I haven't seen before, which is probably kind of like an odd thing to say. Like for example, I was actually scrolling earlier, and there's a really cool crocodile pirate design that someone had put up as an adopt for sale, and it had already been purchased. But I thought that was really cool because you see a lot of fish pirates or shark pirates or sirens, but I don't think you see really a lot of crocodile pirate themes.
Yeah,
so
basically
just like a very
I was gonna say basically just King K. Rool from Donkey Kong, but even then that's like just a costume of his.
So yeah, I think like just seeing something that's like, oh, that's a cool concept. I have not seen that before.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I'd say it's not like too strange of an answer to have. I feel like a lot of folks I've had on have said something similar to that. Yeah. So if you had just woken up back to the day you decided to become a VTuber, and everything after that had all just been just been a big dream, would you do anything differently?
Do I? How do I say this? Do I have? So you're saying like I dreamed everything that happened to me in VTubing,
Yes.
but I woke up. Do I remember this dream?
Yes.
Okay. So probably only because my biggest thing with VTubing that I'm like, I was so fucking stupid. So when I started VTubing, I didn't have any VTuber friends. I was just kind of going about it by myself. I didn't really have anyone to, kind of show me the ropes or tell me about things or anything like that. So I thought that you had to make your own VTuber model.
I see.
I didn't know that you could commission a VTuber model. Don't ask me why I thought that in 2021, but I did. Because I think I thought it was similar to, I think with like MMD models, I remember someone a long time ago telling me that like you're not allowed to take money for them or something like that. I don't know if that's still true or not. I just remember that, so I kind of automatically assumed it was the same for VTuber models.
Oh, I see.
Stupid. So I made this ghost girl VTuber model. There was one character I originally wanted to make, but at the time, my voice was and still is like super feminine, and this was my D&D character, who is a dude. And I was like, I don't want people calling my, D&D character, constantly referring to my D&D character as a girl. So, and I didn't know how to make Solvae, who was a binary character. So instead, I just made this super basic ghost girl model because I thought, oh my god, I was such an that's such an idiot, but I was so naive. I'll put it that way. I was so naive, because you laugh, but it was so basic. Now looking back on it, it was a ghost girl who like lived inside a computer. There is nothing really unique about that, but at the time of 2021, I thought that was cool and unique and whatnot. But I never really felt like a connection with this character, or really particularly had a thing for this character, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think if I could go, where I'm trying to get to with all my yapping, is I think if I could go back, I would be like, Solvae, you moron, you stupid dumb idiot, just pay someone to make Solvae for you. Because my first rebrand, when I went from the Ghost Girl to the first iteration of Solvae, I took a very heavy hit in terms of viewers. Like, a lot of people stopped following me because I went from, big titty ghost lady to flat-chested non-binary pixie.
Right, yeah. I can, such a shame. But, yeah. Definitely could see how making that jump would absolutely be good for you at the beginning. So, in your time streaming, what would you say is your favorite part of it?
Let me see here. I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding materialistic. I enjoy the the little community of people that I have around me. Only because that I know that I could rebrand as a turkey sandwich tomorrow, and these same people would still show up to watch me be a turkey sandwich on Twitch TV. And that is very comforting.
Right.
In that I feel like it gives me a lot of, freedom to be able to try out new things, and know that while some people will still come and go, that I won't lose, my core group of people, including Dragon's Fae. But honestly, when I was mentioning I'll be materialistic, I would honestly say this model here that I have now. So when I first wanted to start VTubing, was because I saw an AI candy video, and that was back when they were using their old 3D model, the one that kind of was reminiscent of Vanellope von Schweetz. And I loved the 3D model. I loved the squishy, squashy face, and that having something like that was kind of like, when I started VTubing, I was like, that's like my model end goal right there, is obtaining something like that. And with a lot of help from my community, from those core people who wouldn't care if I was a turkey sandwich, help make that dream come true, and that made me very happy.
Yeah, it's awesome. And is there anything that you wish you could do more of? Perhaps either whatever conditions or whatever, anything is kind of preventing you from doing that now?
So I do wish sometimes that I could afford to be a little bit louder again. I currently live in a townhouse for thin walls, unfortunately, so I've kind of had to adapt to a more like chill stream kind of vibe. And in kind of tying in with the volume, I would love to do like more karaoke streams or song covers or things like that. But I unfortunately can't just kind of due to volume and noise.
Yeah, fair enough. What would you say is your least favorite part of streaming?
My least favorite part of streaming. Let me see here. Video editing. I have recently pawned that off onto somebody else. Because I absolutely despise video editing. To me, there is almost nothing more boring than video editing.
Yeah, that's a common consensus among other guests, and I assume that also is going to be your answer for if you could pay someone to do any part of the process for you. What would you pick? And
You know, actually, I don't think I would pick video editing.
oh,
Because I would either like do it myself and just do it really poorly. If I had to pick somebody to just like, hey, like you're gonna do this job for me and you're gonna do this job well, that would probably be marketing. Like reaching out to like sponsorships and things like that because I am really, 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 really bad at advertising myself.
right, yeah, I'm the same way. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting look there. I fucked up your ahogi real bad.
You fucked up my ass.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Is that? Yeah, fine. That's good enough. Yeah.
Looks
What?
wonderful.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay. Do you think having like a major social media presence is necessary to growth for streaming, or do you think that kind of like doing the daily streams, just like hitting the grind is like enough to make it here? I guess make it is a strong word. Like grow.
No, I definitely think you need some type of social media presence. I have seen, I know, like, for example, Twitter followers don't necessarily convert into Twitch followers, but generally speaking, it definitely has seemed like VTubers or companies that have a very strong social media presence have a much better reach for Twitch than if they had no social media presence.
Right. And then do you kind of I know you said that marketing and stuff like that was kind of a weak spot for you, but do you have any, I guess, tips or any kind of advice for people who might be trying to grow a bit more, like with like social media and stuff like that?
Trying to figure out the social media algorithm is still something that baffles me to this day. I think everyone's different, and what works for one person isn't gonna work for other people. Like for example, a lot of the time, a typical growth strategy for growing on Twitch is to just kind of stick with one niche. Even often sometimes sticking with just one game is beneficial if you just want to play a pure numbers game. But for me, who has crippling ADHD, even if it's a game that I love, like Final Fantasy XIV, I can't just only play Final Fantasy XIV, and like I need a break to occasionally do something else. I do still think that if you are, trying to number max, that having a niche is compared to just pure variety streaming. Or even, there are some VTubers who will just kind of follow, like, what's the hot game of the moment. It was peak for a little bit, and now, everyone's playing Silent Hill Forte, and then I think Little Nightmares 3 just came out. So there's a lot of people who will kind of just play those new hot games that come out and be able to grow that way. But in my personal opinion, although I think it's going to take much, much longer, I think you're going to have a better time in the long run if you are growing a community based around something that you enjoy, whether that is horror games, MMOs, or things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of games, are there any that are on your sort of bucket list to want to play in the future? Anything that maybe either you just haven't gotten around to it, or just whatever?
So at the moment, not really. What I kind of mostly do right now is my main focus is Final Fantasy XIV. That is what I am kind of attempting to build that community around. Occasionally, every so many 14 streams, I'll play something different just to kind of give myself a little bit of a break. And I, might only play that game once and never finish it before I go back to Final Fantasy. I am very excited, though, for Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I do. That is definitely something I want to play. I wishlisted that game back in 2021, and I never gave up hope that it was coming out because they kept pushing the release and delaying it, and everyone said it wasn't going to happen, but it's happening. It's happening at the end of this month. It's finally here. And I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. And then, do you have anything that's blacklisted from your channel? Either because you think you couldn't make any content from it, or just you don't want to play that a game.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, I have many things. And so typically, any kind of competitive game, so League of Legends, Marvel Rivals, Valorant, Overwatch, anything like that, Fortnite. CS:GO, anything that is very competitive pilled. I just don't really want anything to do with it. And Minecraft.
Okay.
I have a very specific. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I have a very specific dislike of Minecraft.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Competitive. Anything else, or just?
Mostly just anything that falls within that genre. Oh, and porn games.
Fair enough, I guess. Man, when are they gonna add streamer mode to those games?
Honestly, there's a couple of games that I definitely should have gotten pinged on Twitch for, though. So one of my favorite games that I've played, it was one of the earliest games that I played when I started streaming, originally as my old persona, is a game called The Cat Lady. And it's technically like a horror game, but it's more like a side-scrolling, story-driven, point-and-click kind of thing.
Okay.
But there's one part where you see the main character Susan, in the bathtub, and she just got her titties out.
Damn.
They're just out on full display.
In front of God and everyone?
And literally in front of God, in front of Jebus, in front of my Scrunklys, in front of everybody. She just got nips out.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, here we go. Who is or are your Oshi or Oshis?
So that's another fun question. I don't know that I really have an Oshi in the traditional sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just never a word that I personally connected with. Like there was never a streamer that I'm like, yes, this is my Oshi, because I don't know, I never really felt anything toward that word or that label.
Okay.
Kind of like I said before, I do have VTubers that I admire. Like I said, AI Candy is kind of the one who got me into VTubing. Zentrea, I really admire her 3D work and her innovation with like 3D streams and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, let me see here. I'm also a Porcelain Maid fan.
Yep.
I really like his sarcastic clapbacks. I think they're hilarious and very well
Mm-hmm.
timed.
Yep. Very good.
Yep, and I could only strive to be a quarter manly as he is. Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, I would say that if I had to place the Oshi label on somebody, it would probably be AI Candy and or Zentrea.
Yeah, two very good ones. I respect that a lot. And then if you could, what would your like dream collab be? Like the person you'd want to have on your stream and like do like anything with them, and what would you want to do with them?
Ooh, okay. So let me see here. Well, I mean, one of them I actually kind of already sort of did get to a little bit. I got to start doing Final Fantasy art parties with Podge and Joe Cat.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. We actually have another one at the end of this month that I'm
that's
very
fun.
excited for. So, yes, we do those occasionally. Honestly, I would have to say, um, probably just like getting to raid some of my favorite FF14 creators would be a lot of fun. Or I'm trying to think. Just because again, like my content is so Final Fantasy 14 focused.
Yeah.
So, like, I could say, like, oh, well, I'd love to stream with AI Candy or Zentrea, but it's like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. That I don't know.
If you're into FF14, I know Miff is also a pretty avid player as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, Joe Cat, great guy, love him. I had him on the show
Yeah.
last month. Super
Oh,
cool dude.
really? That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I was stoked about that. And then, do you have any? I guess this might be a tough question for you, but do you have any like a collab between two creators that you'd want to see as a viewer? I know you said you're not a very avid VTuber watcher, but
Yeah. Let me see here. Um, hmm. So maybe not necessarily to VTubers, but I do love when Iron Mouse gets involved with people who aren't YouTubers. Like seeing like Iron Mouse like do something with like a queso or Markiplier, I think would be like really really funny.
yeah, definitely. And then who would you kind of put on the Mount Rushmore of VTubers? The four VTubers that you think kind of stand at the pinnacle, the four that are kind of like the four most iconic VTubers you can think of.
So the biggest VTubers, I already said her name several times. Obviously, I think Iron Mouse has. I would also put on. Now these are just VTubers that I think are like at the top of like the VTuber chain, not necessarily like I like these VTubers, correct?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, now.
Okay. So probably then Iron Mouse, Shy Lily, Shoto. I got to give the guys some kind of representation. And let's top. Mori Calliope.
Yeah,
I think those are my. I think that's my Mount Rushmore of YouTubers.
it's a great list. Yeah, for sure. So, kind of beyond the more obvious issues like dramatic behind the scenes behavior or corporate meddling, beyond that, what do you think the VTuber community needs improvement on?
So you said other than corporate meddling and what else?
Like kind of catty, like behind the scenes behavior.
Um, I think that there's a few things that the VTubing community could work on. One of which is, and I don't know if this falls into the whole catty behavior behind the scenes thing, but I mean, obviously, attempting to solve issues, not with Google Docies. But also, I was kind of talking about this with a friend of mine the other day. It feels like there's this sort of like help the little guy mentality, but only until they think the little guy doesn't need help anymore, but like the little guy does still need help. Like for example, a lot of people will try to come in and come together to help someone say reach affiliate, to hit those average viewers and that follower list and whatnot. But then a lot of the times it seems like as soon as that person reaches affiliate, a lot of those people kind of go off and then they go find someone else to try to help push to affiliate. And the same thing with partner too. Like when someone's doing a partner push, a lot of people will come to, lurk and support. And then once that person hits partner, then a lot of people who hit partner will often see a numbers drop right after hitting partner.
Right.
Because, those people that helped you hit partner are like, okay, you've hit partner, my deed is done, I'm going to move on and go. But having that numbers drop, after hitting your goal, kind of, it can kind of fuck with you, a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
sure.
Well, like I know, I thanks for helping me hit my goal, but it's like, I still want you here. Don't leave, come back.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like it is again almost like as if they don't need the help anymore, like they're not needed anymore. But it's like no, like I still need you. Come back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I appreciate obviously people who support someone who's doing a partner push to help them reach those numbers, but it's also almost like I would rather see people like doing that because like they want to stay and engage and be a viewer, so that way that
Right.
person doesn't have to have that kind of sometimes soul crushing numbers drop right as soon as they hit their goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, do you think you can give me your hottest VTuber take?
My hottest VTuber take. Okay,
Yeah.
let me see here.
Make some people angry.
Um. So, okay. This one makes some people angry. I genuinely do think that male VTubers have it a little bit harder than female presenting VTubers. I know a lot of people say that they don't, or they say typically streaming is male dominated, is female dominated, so clearly they just don't have personalities or something like that. But if you look at all of the top, for example, like indie VTubers, there are a bunch of female presenting VTubers, and there's only a couple of male indie VTubers that are kind of up at that, that top spot. So I mean, I would say that's probably my VTubing hot take.
Yeah, interesting. Do you have do you have any like experience with conventions, and kind of what is that your sort of your thoughts and feelings about those?
I have been to 2 conventions, not in person, but I went one. I was on an iPad, and then the other one I was stationary. Both for, the company TrueTubers. They're definitely fun and interesting, but I feel like they're more so fun if you are a bigger VTuber that has a community that is wanting to come see you. When I did last TwitchCon as under TrueTubers, it was definitely a lot of fun, and I got to see a couple of people. One of whom was kind of like mutual viewer, and got to talk to them, and that was really, really cool. And I definitely love companies like TrueTubers who offer those kinds of things to VTubers that can't get to conventions for one reason or another. Most of the time though, it's a lot of just kind of standing there and waving and hoping someone will come say hi to you.
Right. Oh, here we go. Do you have like what do you where would you like to see yourself in like a year or even 5 years time? Do you think?
I will be honest with you. I have no idea at this point. For a very long time, especially since I was previously part of an agency, it's been very, career focused, numbers driven, kind of thing. And I am sort of at the point where it's been about 4 years. And I absolutely adore, and I'm so thankful for my wonderful one. But I average about maybe on a good day right now about 10 viewers a stream after 4 years. So it's kind of like I'm just kind of going with the flow at the moment. I'm not really chasing any particular goals or dreams anymore, unfortunately, because it's just one of those things where it's like, after 4 years, I feel like if something was going to catch on, it would have caught on by now. So I'm just trying to focus on having fun with it again, rather than what can I do to get my numbers up.
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's like, if something starts to give, maybe I'll start looking into statistics again, and taking those into consideration. But as of right now, I am just kind of doing whatever I want, which I know a lot of the times doing whatever you want is not the best way to grow. If you're looking at it from just a perspective. So I don't know where I see myself in a year. Oh my god, I don't want to think about 5 years. Oh my god, I would be 38 in 5.
Yeah, you're
Think about that.
also your 10-year VTuber anniversary at that point.
Yeah, basically. Basically, yeah. Yeah, it would be my 10-year VTubing anniversary. So yeah, I've just been trying to take that kind of pressure off of myself. So I try and actually not to think about it.
Yeah, that's very smart, very prudent, I would say.
Yeah.
I know I hear a lot of people talk about how you can't let the numbers control you, so
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of outlandish or maybe even selfish goals for your streaming career? Any kind of like big brand deals you'd want to make in the future? Any kind of big partnerships or any big like events or stuff like that you'd want to maybe tackle and kind of just like this is your sort of space to put it out, put that energy out there. I guess is the
Okay.
best way to put it.
I mean, I would in a dream world, okay, in my absolute wildest dreams, I got to quit my job, and I get to do full-time content creation, a mix of streaming and art and voice acting or something along those lines, or maybe just two of the three, maybe just two. Streaming and voice acting or streaming and art, something like that. And I get to, play the game that I want. And I just kind of get to, just kind of get to live out my wildest fantasies. As far as brand deals, I would my own GamerSupps flavor. That'd be awesome. I've already got a name for it. It'd be Holy Dog. For my so my dog Addie is a big part of my streams and just like my not my lore but like my stream culture, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And most of my chat, we have this sort of bit where like we're a cult and Addie is our goddess. So that's why the flavor we called Holy Dog Water. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, awesome, definitely. And then kind of we're moving on to the VTuber content lightning round. In this segment, I will give you a popular kind of VTuber content, and I want just your like quick sort of gut opinions and thoughts about each.
I will do my best. I do have ADHD, and sometimes that can be difficult, but I will do my best.
I believe in you. You can do this.
Okay.
So you've already kind of spoken on this before, but competitive games.
Gross. Ew. Icky. Dumb. Hate them.
All right, bad. Get them out of here. Next up is like speedrunning games and stuff like that.
I think speedrunners are really cool, and I admire their determination. I could never.
Next up is challenge runs, stuff like playing like Nuzlocke or playing through a game with only like one specific item or weapon or something like that.
I think challenge runs are cool. I have tried doing challenge things before, but I have never get distracted too early and end up doing something else.
And then kind of like we said before, kind of those more popular like party games, kind of like Repo or Peak or Lethal Company or stuff like that.
I think they're fun with friends. I truly tend to I don't necessarily enjoy the games themselves. It's more so I enjoy playing them with people I like. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, like a bunch, like total sense. Next up is doing like reaction videos.
I am not a big fan of most reaction content. I think there's a couple of creators out there that make it work, but for the most part, at least for myself, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of watching something and then going like, oh man, that was crazy. Wow.
Okay. You mentioned wanting to do this a little bit before, but music content, like songs, either covers or original music.
Yeah, I think that doing covers is a lot of fun. Probably not original music. As far as like my singing goes, I think I'm okay. I don't think I'm tone deaf, but I'm also no I'm no Amelie either. But I think that if it's something that anyone is interested in doing, I think that VTubing is all pursuing your passions, regardless if you're good at them or not.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of that, good if you kind of want to get in contact with someone about doing like a cover or something like that. Electrics from the server is a very good. She's like she works as a music teacher, and also she's just like
Ooh.
very good at like kind of teaching about like people who aren't good at singing how to kind of get better at it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. Next is the various marathons. You know, your subathons, donathons, followathons, those kinds of things.
Um, I think that I don't like 24-hour, 48-hour like nonstop. We don't stop until the counter runs out subathons. I think those are particularly unhealthy, and I think that people should stop doing them because I think it sets a weird not precedent, but like it sets a theme. I don't know the exact word for it, don't have time to think about it because we're trying to lightning round it and not yap. um but I mean, I overall I don't have any issues with them. I've done a couple. Some have been very successful, some not. I think it kind of depends on how you decide you want
All right, you have done it. You've gone through the lightning round.
to.
Congratulations. Um, and kind of we have a few more questions here. So for instance, for the artist questions, you mentioned doing art before. Um, so who or what would you say is the biggest inspiration for your art? Like who is kind of when you look to like your favorite artists of all time, who comes to mind for that?
So some of my personal biggest inspirations, as in like I like looked at their style and there were things that I was like, I like how they do that. I'm gonna incorporate that in my own art style. One of them is an artist by the name of Luigi. Luigi is a fantastic, mostly a character artist, but she also does backgrounds as well. Um, love play.
You cut out for a second there.
Oh, sorry. What part did you lose me at?
Just like you said you love somebody, and then
Oh,
that's
yes. My friend Bubo Plague. Her art is very like painterly and very organic. Like it's not like her anatomy is very very good, but it's not like her art's not very technical looking. It's like I said, it has an organic feel to it, and I really really love that. Like a lot of VTubing. Like a lot of VTubers like to get anime focused art, and anime art, in my opinion, is often very like meant to be like crisp looking and technical.
yeah.
Whereas Bubo's art is just very like loose and organic, and I just absolutely love her art. Let me see here. Another inspiration. Um, oh, I gotta think. So kind of sort of a weird inspiration. But the creator of Dandadan, not necessarily for the art, but for his kind of like story. Spark notes really quick. Basically, he had several comics before he did Dandadan, and they didn't do very well.
Yeah.
And he was ready to just kind of give up, and just kind of throw in the towel on being a manga artist. And he was talking to his editor, and his editor was literally like, you know what, if you're gonna give up, just give it one more shot and just like do whatever you want. Just don't focus on getting serialized or anything like that. Just do whatever makes you happy. And so they started talking about the concept of a turbo granny, and that made them both laugh, and that's where turbo granny came about, and that's literally how Dan to Dan got started. And now it's really super popular, and he kept it his dream, but he didn't give up, and I really admire that.
Awesome. I know a common, perhaps not. I guess compliment is the best way to put it. That a lot of artists seem to get is, oh, your art reminds me of such and such. Do you get that often? And if so, how do you sort of take those kinds of compliments? So
I
to
have
speak?
never once heard that.
Really? Okay.
Nope, never.
Okay, that makes the next question a lot easier, which is who is it that usually you get compared to, but that's not an issue.
I don't think I post my art a lot. I honestly sometimes I think even people don't even know that I do art because I don't share it very often.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Then uh so you said you took comms before, but you don't currently do, right?
Yes. So I was in college. I did 1 year as an English major, and then I did a semester as an art major, and then I am not in college.
Fair. And so what kind of like commissions would you take when you were taking stuff before?
Um, the only thing I do right now is my scrunklys. Some like skeb like illustrations. That was really it. I never really took any official commissions for VTuber models, only because I would have to be like very, very picky on the designs that I took. A lot of VTubers are very, how do I want to say this, heavily designed. If that makes any sense, like there's
Yep.
a lot of parts to them, and if someone was like, "Can you turn this into a," I'd be like, "No, absolutely not. I cannot do that." So yeah, just primarily scrunkly. Sometimes I've done like emotes for friends in the past, but I right now my focus is not on commissions, but rather on wanting to build an Etsy store.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And then this is sort of the last artist question here, but what do you normally like listen to when you're working?
I usually am listening to, um, like I think I mentioned earlier, I was on a kick of like watching people play Subnautica. I so like I watch like people like play games or whatnot, or I will watch cave diving disasters, body cam videos, creators like Swoop, for example. I watch a lot.
Yeah, okay. Any like any music that you like listening to, or is it all just like stuff that's actual
It's
content?
primarily stuff. Sometimes if a certain song kind of brought the image about like in my head, like if I was listening to a song and I thought of an image and I'm like, I want to draw that, I will just put that song on repeat for the next 5 hours. But other than that, I don't really listen to music while I draw.
Interesting. Um, yeah, I definitely feel you on the son of a bitch. First of all, what color do you want on these little hand energy things? If
You know what? Honestly, go crazy. So, as a character, Solvae's fire is meant to be like very dramatic and have a lot of color in it. But as you know, most people usually just draw like regular fire. So you do whatever you're like. I want to do this because there was no wrong answer.
okay, okay. And you said you were in a VTuber agency, right? That's was
I
that
was,
like
yes.
was that a long lasting situation, or was it just like picked up for like a little bit of time and then you left for whatever reason?
It was a little over a year.
Okay. And then so I guess first things first. How was, if you don't mind me asking, how was the sort of separation from your agency? What was it like? Was it like mutual? Were you like, all right, we've done our thing, but now it's time to move on, or was it more of bit
can't talk
messy.
about it.
Okay, fine. No worries.
I'm sorry.
No. But I don't want you to get in trouble for something.
That's okay. Yeah, I unfortunately cannot talk about it.
Oof. Yeah, okay. Then in that case, what are some things that an agency provides that you wouldn't really think of but are like a huge help to the...
Do you mind if I answer that question as what I think an agency should provide?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I think the biggest things that an agency should provide is things that the VTuber can't really do themselves, or things that are very hard to do by yourself. So, for example, management services. But I think that management services aren't a, hey, you need to be doing this. Management services, in my opinion, are like the talent goes, hey, I really want to do something like this. And then the manager finds a way to make it work or tweak it to try to help you make it the best content that it can be. I think that agencies should provide editors because I think that it has been proven that, at least in my opinion, having discoverability off Twitch is very, very important. And a lot of those times, you find, people through, TikTok or YouTube Shorts or things like that. I think that managers should provide marketing and, reaching out to sponsorships on your behalf. Did I say managers or I said agencies?
Agencies. Well, you said managers. I think you were talking about agencies.
Yeah, I meant agencies. Because obviously, typically with an agency, you should have a talent agent when you're with an agency, in my opinion. And I think that agencies should have the capability, because there's a big difference as to why there should be a difference between agencies and just groups. I feel like if you're going to call yourself an agency and not a group, you should have the financial funding to help talents with projects that they can't fund on their own, because that is one of the big benefits of an agency versus just a VTuber group is, not just, talent management and, marketing, but also, financial things as well.
Interesting. What are some things that more inexperienced VTubers should keep in mind when applying to an agency?
Don't. Don't. I truly think, in my opinion, most small VTubers don't necessarily need agency, because if they're applying to an agency for the reasons that I meant, that I said, they're probably putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
Okay.
Like, for example, like if you want an agency because you want someone to be like, negotiate a merch deal on your behalf, but you have only 5 average viewers. In my opinion, your main focus should be growing your community before you start focusing on merch. So then when you have merch, then you have people who are going to buy your merch. Also, unless it's a major agency with a known reputation or known good reputation, such as Socks or Hollow Stars, I would not apply for any new and upcoming agencies. Only because just a lot of the times they don't really fully know what they're getting into.
Even apparently even big ones don't know what they're fully getting into.
That is true. Yeah, I was even going to say, but you even need to be careful with, even big agencies, because like we saw, like V Shoujo was the golden standard of agencies for so long, but it ended up turning out that there was so much shit going on behind the scenes for so long.
Yeah.
So my current thing is, I do not recommend an agency. Like, if you are wanting, the things that an agency provides, and your best, first of all, I think you need to learn how to do those. You need to learn how to do those things. Like, I've seen some VTubers who, like, if they get like a hate raid, or they get a bot that comes in and or a chatter that needs banned. they don't know how to handle that themselves, and will be like, where are my mods? Why are my mods not here? And it's like, your mods are volunteers, and like, yes, it's good, it's nice for them to be there. I love it when my mods are there, but if your mods aren't there, you need to be able to handle the situation on your own. That's the same thing, like, you know, looking at your own stats. Definitely, like, a manager might be better at it for sure. But I think that you need to learn to operate on your own, and things like that before you decide you're going to hand the reins over to somebody else. Because I am 100% for VTuber managers. I know there's or very against VTuber managers in general. I've worked with VTuber managers before, and I think that they can be a great asset. But you also need to make sure that, like obviously they cost money, and you need to make sure that they're something that you want to invest in, because they're an investment.
Exactly.
Because it's in their best interest to help you. So in by doing their best to help you, you are investing in yourself. Yeah, I would say before doing an agency, if you want something or someone to help you with things like marketing or sponsorships or whatnot, try a manager first. It's probably going to be a little bit more expensive than, say, like, most agencies, I think, only take, say, 20% of your revenue. Whereas most managers operate on, like, a certain hourly fee or monthly fee or whatever. It's probably going to be more expensive, but also there's more freedom to just be like, hey, so this isn't really working out the way that I want to, or hey, sorry, I finances are short and I can't pay for management services next month. Management next month or something like that.
Right.
As opposed to being locked into a contract for a certain amount of time, agency.
Yeah, that's all excellent advice. And for anyone
Sorry,
out there,
I know I kind of rambled.
no, I prefer you over explain than under explain. Honestly,
Yeah.
And for anyone who is looking for management services, my manager, Cynical, she is top of the line, top notch. Just quick little plug there. I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
So those are all of my. No, wait, no, I have one more. What do you think of the concept of in-house VTubers? The idea that of like a person applying to an agency and then them picking up the persona of a VTuber model or design that the company owns or that they have already created for this part, so to speak.
I kind of have mixed feelings about in-house VTubers, because on one hand, like, obviously if you're joining a certain agency, they're usually pretty upfront about, like, hey, we're not adopting your current IP, you are going to be playing, this character, you're going to be playing a pre-made character. I sort of come from, like, a character creation / like adoption background. So for me, having like giving a character a voice and a personality, and getting art of that character or buying art of that character, but I don't really own it because I don't own the character, that's always been a very strange concept to me. And it's also kind of like, if the person, like, decides, like, hey, I'm gonna be leaving my agent, then I've never seen a situation where a character that was owned by an agency and that VTuber retired, like, you never see that character again. Like, they're gone. So it's kind of like, so why do VTuber agencies then retain that IP if they aren't going to do anything with it again?
Right.
It just kind of always confused me a little bit. Like, I could understand, like, you don't want to, like, as an agency, you don't want to give somebody an IP, like, a model, a rig, and art and emotes and everything, and then a couple months later, they, run off with the IP. They're like, yeah, sorry, I don't want to be in the agency anymore. Okay, bye. But and also because like every time a VTuber retires, an agency VTuber retires, a lot of times like the fans, if the VTuber wants the IP, the fans of that VTuber are wanting that VTuber to keep that IP. It just always seems like it's more in the company's best interest to, relinquish the IP. Which I don't know. I feel like that can be solved with like, if you're with the company for a year or more, then you can, we may, sign over the IP like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, or like I said, I don't understand why they don't bring the same character back, but just with with another person. Like I don't know if that's just a. I've heard that's like the VTubing equivalent of like where everyone else is where.
Yeah, I can. Because
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I definitely could understand not doing that for at least for VTubers because I know at least for the more trained ones I'm thinking specifically to like Fauna and Mume from Hololive. Because you could tell, like, for instance, if, like, Bibu ever took over a model for somebody, you could tell it was her controlling the model.
Yeah.
Because of, like, how she, like, sort of acts and is, like, her performance with, like, doing streams and stuff like that. I think that it definitely would be strange if they had somebody take over for either of, or I guess any of them now. But I will say, like them not doing anything with the like I feel like them not doing anything with the designs after they've graduated is like they're just like throwing away money because I don't know if you remember they had a Mume Nendroid concept like made and ready.
Yeah.
But they're just not gonna it's not being made anymore.
Yeah. And I don't mean like for example like in the case of like like you wouldn't have another one of your talents take over, for that character.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, hey, this model, this VTuber graduated. They're on their own indie IP now, so we're going to be holding auditions, for this character. Just make it super transparent, super well known, that it is someone new who is kind of piloting the mech, so to speak, because. Yeah, when it comes to those kinds of in-house VTubers, like you'll just almost never really own that character, and so when you leave, like all of that like fan art and everything, like you don't get to take that with you. Like that's not yours anymore. And it's like I don't know that to me always kind of like suck because like if someone draws you fan art, like they're making that for you because they like you, and then now you just because you didn't want to be part of the agency for one reason or another, you just don't get to have that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that was a very lovely little answer to that question. I think, yeah, I think it's a lot to think about for sure. But that is my last structured question that I have. So, as per usual at this time of the show, I like to hand over the proverbial interviewer mic over to my guest and allow you to ask me any questions that you might have for me.
Okay. I would like you to just really rapidly, in like one breath, answer every single question that you asked me, but pertaining to you.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'll ask you a few things. When did you start drawing?
When I could hold a crayon. I'll be honest. I think this is. I do get this question a lot, and I always am. Not to say anything about you and your question asking skills. It's the one thing that you've seen me doing this whole time. But I think it is interesting to think about this question in that. Like I've always like drawn as far as I can remember. And I think it was the only thing I could like hold on to that I didn't stop being good at after a while.
Okay.
I think I started taking it like more seriously as like more of like I want to be an artist. Around like middle school time, like was then when I thought of like, oh, this is like people just do this. Yeah.
And how did you come up with your sketchalog thing?
So it's a combination of being really into like interview style shows, like Hot Ones, Comedians in Cars, Getting Coffee, stuff like that. And the idea of, or I guess it's the idea that I am not, I am not very good at talking by myself when I'm drawing. I don't know. The best way I've found to explain it is word vomit, because it is just like it's nonsense, but not even like really funny nonsense. I'm just kind of like I'll be like, oh, I'm listening to this song. What's this thing? And it's just kind of like a squiggly line that's like going all over like a map, trying to track like where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I have a bunch of VTuber friends right now. Why don't I like ask them some questions about VTubing, and then I draw them a picture or whatever, and then I'll have someone to talk to on stream that is to like, in all honesty, like doing most of the heavy lifting for these. But also I can do art streams and also have a platform to collab with people with on. So
That's kind of one thing that I've always been like, how do I want to say this? Not like pissed about. So a lot of the times you hear, like when you hear ways to grow on Twitch, a lot of people will suggest like, oh, if you have like a talent or something that you're good at, you should capitalize on that and work it into your streams. Problem with that is I don't do art streams because most folks don't watch my art streams because they're so boring. Because I can't talk and draw at the same time, because like I'll just kind of hyper focus on what I'm doing, and like even if I'm talking, I'm not really being funny. I'm kind of just like almost like mumbling to myself, like,
yes.
I'm drawing.
Yeah.
And it's like I sometimes I want to like grab those people that say like, oh, do you draw? You should do archery. I want to grab them by their shoulders. I want to shake them. Be like, how do I do that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I think it's also like sometimes there are some people like that they're either really good at making funny art streams, or they're good at just talking while drawing, or their art is just really, 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 really good, that even if they're not good at talking, just simply watching the process is like, whoa. But I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit like in the middle.
Yeah.
In terms of like my art, where like my art's not bad. I wouldn't call my art bad by any means, but I'm not like, wow, oh my god, amazing, how did they do this good either.
Yeah, me too.
So
exactly.
so like I have to try to be funny, and I can't. So
Yep.
it's so hard.
Extremely hard. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a VTubing question.
Okay.
If there was one piece of VTubing advice that you wish you had known when you first started, what would it be?
When I first started, I think like just reaching out to people. Because before I made that post, and my wonderful, lovely manager suggested that I set up a server and all that, I just DM'd like every VTuber in my following list on like Twitter. And I was just like, hey, I'm doing this show. Do you want to come on? Hey, I'm doing this show. Do you want to come on? And I just went through like the whole list of everyone, and like I did get like several like people who like said yes and wanted to come on the show, and I think that just like getting my foot in the door and not being like such a wimpy little introvert about things is definitely better. Because, like, you have someone on the show, and then, like, maybe a month or two later, for instance, they're like, oh, I'm hosting a bingo event, and then I'm like, you want to be on? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, why not? And then it kind of snowballs from there. I think I definitely was trying to just... When I started, I both didn't want to, like, reach out or branch out to anybody, and also I gave up way too quickly. So I started in 2023. I went for like a couple of months, and then I ditched it, and then came back right at the end, the tail end of 2024. I think it was because it was either because VShojo was doing their like auditions, and I wanted to like, I was like, oh, this could be like something, not. Of course, not knowing at the time what
right
the evil that lurked within, but also like I think it was. I just wanted to. It was kind of in like a job that I'm currently still in that I don't really care for, and I was like, I'm not. I have this thing that I'm sitting on. I paid like $800 for this model. I'm not just gonna like throw it away.
Yeah.
especially when it looks like exactly how I draw myself. So I can't I can't sell this to anybody. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So like it was like this model was like collecting dust, and I was just like fuck it. I'm just gonna like go back into it.
Yeah. I think I'm not saying this is what you did, but I think a lot of people I don't want to say they give up too soon, but like they want to grow, they want like to have a career on Twitch, which is really, really hard to do. It's one of the hardest things that you could try to do. And then, it doesn't, it's not working. They're not seeing like, the growth that they want or that they need. And instead of just, maybe say downgrading for a little bit to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna be a hobby streamer. They end up deciding that, that the streaming just, isn't for them.
Yeah.
I think that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little bit like, number pilled or, wanting to grow or wanting to, make money streaming. Because like there's a lot of people who be like, I don't want to make money streaming. I just want to play games with friends. Like that's awesome. But if you also want to make money streaming, that's also awesome. But in my opinion, like you need to have, like there needs to be something about VTubing that you like, that you can hold on to until something maybe hopefully eventually gives, and you do start to see growth, and you do start to see those numbers that you want to see. Because if like numbers and growth is the one and only thing that makes you happy, that gives you joy in VTubing, then you're going to have a really, really hard time.
Yeah.
So like there needs to be something else that brings you joy, and you need to hold on to that, because that's going to be like your lifeline until you hopefully get what you're looking for.
Yeah. One of my friends, I think his episode was the second episode of this like thing I ever did. Back when it was called Draw and Yap. But Best Brit, he when I was like talking about, I was like asking him about kind of like what like people can do to kind of get like on the up and up. He was like, I don't. I'll do the. He was like, all right, so what you got to remember is when you start out, there's like a couple hundred people starting out at the same time as you, and you have to figure, right, that as things go on, a bunch of those people will just drop out. But if you stay on, then the number of people that'll be around will keep going down and down. So then eventually, you stand out more. I don't know why he turned Australian at the end, but
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it. Like he's definitely right. There's a lot of people that were around when I started streaming that just aren't around anymore. But then at the same time, there's also other people who started after me who are already like leaps and bounds more successful.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you see like an artist that is like really impressive, and then you find out they're like 19.
Yeah.
And you want to throw your tablet through the window.
Yeah, like, oh, could you like just support a 20-year-old artist? And I'm like, oh my god.
It's like, you were born after 2000. What? I hate you.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I definitely get that for sure. Let me see. Tell me a little bit about your design. What is your design? Why is your design?
So, as I kind of said before, this is how I typically draw myself. I think when I first made this design, I either wasn't entirely sure of kind of what the scope of like VTubers could be, but also I think it was no, I think it was just that at the beginning. And I was like, do I really want to like play a character, and like it's a whole thing. But then I was kind of back in that 2024 period of time when I came back. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know if this whole thing is working out. It feels very like stale right now. Ugh, jeez. It feels very stale right now. So what if I try and rebrand to something else? And then I thought about it for a bit, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to it's either going to be something that is very similar to me already, or I'm going to have to like adopt like a character basically. And I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do a funny voice. Imagine if I had to do that British accent for like this entire stream. No, absolutely not. So I was like, I might as well just like stick to my guns, like stick to being like myself as much as I can be, and I think that's kind of why I wanted to settle back into this role. The design elements, it's all just a bunch of references. The turtleneck is an Archer reference.
Okay, I love that show.
Yep. Tactical turtlenecks, love them. The coat is kind of a mixture of the sort of like the archetype of like JRPG characters that seem like they're bad guys at first and then kind of turn eventually.
Okay.
Kind of like that brooding, like long coat, dark colors, with like a funky collar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think like Magus from Chrono Trigger, that sort of thing. And then the horns are, I'll be honest, every time I get asked this question about the horns, because they're the most like unique thing about this model. I don't know what made me decide to do like the like crystal sort of like lava lamp thing. Yeah. I just know that it's supposed to be like the Kirby Crackle from Marvel Comics.
Okay.
And that it's like cosmic energy that's flowing inside of the crystal type deal. I besides that, I have no idea how I came up with like the concept for it.
Yeah. No, it's very cool.
Yeah, thank you. The beveled shape is based off of the succubus horns from Disgaea.
Okay.
Because they also have kind of like that sort of like beveled like 4-point like diamond looking horns. So yeah.
That's very cool.
Mm.
How do you feel about VTubers with like multiple personas, either on one account or on multiple?
I think if they're serving different purposes, like the first one I can think of is Tricky Wee and her other one, whose name escapes me right now. But yeah, I think for her, I think one of them is her like regular persona, and the other one is more of like an ASMR kind of like maybe more like leaning towards lewdtuber type thing for her.
Okay.
I think that is fine. I get it. I get like wanting to keep like the two things distinct. I'm trying to think of like other examples of that. I think
I know one that recently came out was like Mrs. Mummy and Faye the Fiend.
yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm familiar with her. I think I don't I don't mind it so much. I think it's a little strange that if like they're trying to keep it like almost a secret, like if they're keeping like the two of them kind of like trying to keep the two of them separated and also not be transparent about the fact that they're the same person. I don't know if that was the case with Mrs. Mummy, but that's kind of
Yeah, I can only speculate. I don't think so, but I don't know enough to say one way or the other.
but yeah, I think I don't have a whole lot of ground to speak on with this because I have a it's kind of a different persona for my not safe for work art. I do it is so this is going to take a lot of explaining. In Disgaea D2, there is a section where the main character Laharl is transformed into a girl for like a whole chapter, and then in that towards the end of the game, there is a way you can enact certain things that affect like gameplay and stuff like that. And one of the descriptions for the one to change Laharl's like sprite back into girl Laharl is called "I want to be more popular."
Okay.
So I had the idea of, oh hey, what if that happens to me? And so the alt persona is a female version of myself.
Okay.
And so it would take what I'm picturing in my head would take a lot of working and like figuring out. But I think it would be so funny if I could have either like a redeem or like some kind of like donation thing where you could it would be like I want to be more popular, and then like the whole like screen would go, and then I would change to the other like model.
You know what I think also would be kind of funny, like sort of like more bit, but like just for example having like a big titty toggle on your current model, and then just having like that redeem of I want to be more popular, and everyone thinks like initially like it's like a joke, like oh yeah, this is my girl, and then you just grow a massive pair of boobies.
Hell yeah. That would be very funny. The only problem is just that I was very despite how expensive this model was, I was also very cheap with how much I spent on it.
Okay, good.
Because it's just a half body. I don't have any legs. I lost them in the war.
When will my legs come back from the war?
Yeah, I couldn't afford to get more new legs.
Okay.
Yeah. So So like the base of this model is just with the clothes on and everything. I'll have to double check with Eri now that I'm like now that she's in the server and everything. But also I'm pretty sure I can't like add anything new to this model. I mean also because like her queue is really full and
Yeah.
that's like a whole
Say,
thing.
You put a pin in it. You put a pin in it.
Yeah. Boobs toggle is definitely maybe not in this model's future, but
Yeah.
I am.
The idea is funny.
Yes, very funny. I am getting a model. It's a chibi model, but for the alternate persona,
Cute.
which I'm very excited about. I think the artist is in chat right now. At least her little stream avatar thing is here. Kuago, the owl, homegirl, love her. She's great. And yeah, I guess going back to your initial question, I don't really I think as long as they're not like trying to take advantage of people with having multiple personalities and multiple like stuff like that, I think it's like totally fine.
Yeah. I have a it's not out yet, but I have a secondary persona that I have been slowly working on, and I think like a few days ago, just kind of put it out there like, hey, this exists, by the way, just so y'all know. But no, I definitely do agree that I think if you're going to be doing like the exact same thing as you're already doing, that it's sort of like I think like adding a secondary persona is almost just like adding like a lot of extra work for yourself. But if you're like doing like a different form of content, you don't want to give people like, my whole thing was like, I don't want to give people content whiplash,
right?
Of like as Solvae, like being one way, and then as another character being another way.
That's very fair. Oh, I have a kind of a similar question to this for you. What do you think about? I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Like content creators that make these kinds of posts that are, I don't want to say they're like thirst posts, but they're very much these like I'm trying to figure out how to word this without being like offensive. Sort of. It's like they can be like text posts. They could be like captions on images and stuff like that. But it's all stuff like these people are kind of trying to get like reactions by like flirting with their audience. But the thing is that they have like a partner and like they're in like a relationship. Either from like it's not known or it is known. Because I'm like very confused by this whole phenomenon that I've been seeing, where like like these not even VTubers, like content creators in general would like they have partners and they're like just making like posts like this all the time, and I'm very confused.
So, I think that if that's the kind of content that you want to provide, I personally think that you really should be transparent if that you are in a relationship. Because even though it's wrong, and being flirty doesn't even necessarily mean that people are entitled to you, if that makes sense. There are some people that are going to like in their minds they're going to have this assumption that you're single, and that they might quote like have a chance or something like that. And I think that it's just, personally, I think it's just the responsible thing, if you're in a relationship, to be transparent that you're in a relationship, and this whole like flirty persona thing is just that. It is just simply a persona. And if you are in a relationship, I do feel like that your significant other definitely needs to be aware of what you're doing, and I think that they need to consent and be comfortable with it. Like there's I can't name drop, but for example, like there's somebody that I know who definitely does act flirty, but is married and doesn't and pretends to not be married. I only know that they're married because I live with them at work.
Right, that'd do it. Yeah.
So, but that's still like that's their secret, and that's I'm not gonna name drop.
Of course.
But like for me, like that's kind of that does feel very deceptive, and like you're definitely it definitely can feel like you're sort of leading people on a little bit. Like for example, I think a good example of consent is like the relationship between Vex and Zolon. Vex obviously does flirty things, with like the Fansly stuff and whatnot, or even like Podge and Geddon.
Yeah.
And I think that like both they do like their flirty, sexy stuff, and both Geddon and Zolon are aware of it. Sometimes even participating in it. But there's consent there. There's like, hey, I'm doing this. And I'd really like you to be okay with it, or I'm doing this. Or, there's communication. And everyone who interacts with, Vex or again Pod, for example, knows that this is somebody who is married, and that, even though they're acting, sexy and flirty and, fansy not, this is there is absolutely no chance of this being anything more than a sexy person on a sexy stream.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing. Yeah, I don't like it when, and I know that like there's also this whole thing of like people's personal lives are also kind of theirs to decide how much they want to disclose, and how much they don't want to. But I don't know. I just feel like if you do stuff like that, I do think that it should be like people should know where they stand, and I think that is your job as the VTuber to educate them on where they stand. So that's my yapping about that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Did you have any more questions for me?
No, I don't think off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, then I will. I will take the. I guess the role of perhaps an ungrateful party host and say you are welcome to leave whenever you'd like to. And if you feel as if you're all set, we can wrap up stream here. I've had a lovely time having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And you please, by all means, plug whatever, like where can people find you? If you have any, I guess, affiliate codes with anything, the whole shebang. Let her rip.
Sure. Yeah, you can find me at Hey Soul. Trying to link in my stream, in his stream.
Do you want to run that one again? You kind of cut out.
No.
I know. I was like, oh
no. I was just mentioning that, like, you can find me at Hey Solvae. In link that Xander was so kind to put in his stream title. Use code SKRUNKLY for 10% off your GamerSupps, and that's really it.
Hell yeah! All right.
Hell yeah.
We have. I always like to let my guest choose who we raid into. If you'd like to, if you have anyone that is it's online that you might want to have us toss someone into. I also could just pick someone if it doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, no, so none of my friends are online right now at the moment.
Okay, I could toss you guys to what's something kind of similar to All right, pick a number between 1 through 3.
2.
Okay. All right. We have gotten Strawberry Witch VT.
Okay.
I think she's from the Netherlands, I think, or something like that. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of her stuff on TikTok. She seems pretty cool. But yeah, we're just gonna toss y'all to her, and then we'll be all square.
Okay, sounds good.
Read now. Okay. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on the show again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And then I'll send you the both with the background and without the background of this.
Yeah, thank you so much. It looks lovely.
Yep, thank you.
I just realized we've been in the waiting room this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know why we have the waiting room. I feel like we don't ever use it for anything.
Yeah.
But that's fine. What else? I'm like, while my schedule like for my free time is pretty like stacked out.